Well, the Halos had a nice off day yesterday. They traveled to the East Coast, and it is a big East Coast trip, 3 cities, and tonight we kick things off at Camden Yards. It's the first of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles. Hi, everybody from inside Camden Yards. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. We thank you so much for joining us once again. Just a couple of days ago, as a matter of fact, anytime we come to Camden Yards, all we seem to talk about is Mike Trout and the catch he had in center field. Well, that was all in display again 2 nights ago, and Troy Tulowitzki gave a home run and a fantastic play at the plate.
Yeah, Victor, his defense has been fantastic. We always talk about his offense and his wheels, but it's been his defense. Take a look at our AT Uverse Rewind. Tulowitzki thinks he has a home run to put the Rockies ahead and maybe break that losing streak. But Trout runs that one down. Then here, perfect play, running off balance, was able to get his balance together, and a perfect throw to the plate for a double play. That is one of the most amazing plays I've seen because be able to maintain balance and throw it, fantastic.
Well, we're just about ready for baseball here in Baltimore. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Here and by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich.
Welcome back to Oriole Park at Camden Yards, the first of a 3-game set against the Baltimore Orioles. And as we've said, a long East Coast swing through the American League East. 3 here against the Orioles. Then it's off to Toronto to play a 4-game series beginning on Monday. Then next weekend, a week from tonight, a 3-game set against the Boston Red Sox before returning home for a nice little 3-team homestand for the Angels. That'll be on Memorial Day. So the Angels, obviously, with the victory 2 nights ago, now an even 500 record at 17-17, and this will be a nice little test for this ball club, considering that all 3 teams on this road trip swing the bats well. The Angels have Cole Calhoun leading things off. He's at right field. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at first. David Freese at third base. Eric Ibar the shortstop. Johnny Giamatello at second. Carlos Perez back behind the plate. C.J. Cron will serve as a DH tonight, and Colin Cowgill gets a start in left field, and he will bat 9th. Taking on the 29-year-old left-hander, native of Kilwing, Taiwan, and his name is Wei Yin Chen.
Chen throwing the ball pretty well this season. Good ERA, 2.52 fastballs, 88-92 slider, curveball, very solid changeups. But my go-tos to be successful, do not try to pull him. He throws a lot of fastballs and changeups away. You have to go with the pitch. And second time through, first time through very difficult. Second time he's had some struggles, hitting over 300 batters are that second time through the lineup against them.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Baltimore Orioles. De Aza, Jones, and Young in the outfield from left to right. Machado, Hardy, Navarro, and Davis from the infield from third to first base. And Caleb Joseph behind the plate.
Machado has struggled defensively, which is a surprise, with 8 errors so far this year. He has turned 12 double plays. Fielding percentage of this .930. Very good as far as coming in on the baseball, but some errant throws have cost him so far this year. But still one of the better defensive third basemen in all of Major League Baseball.
Well, they're just happy to have him healthy and in the lineup. And remember, just 22 years of age. He got to start to his Major League career at a very young age. So plenty of time for him to be able to turn it around. But you're right, the 8 errors really stands out for third baseman.
Real surprising for him.
Here's the first one tonight. It's a fastball for a called strike. Eric Cooper called the balls and strikes tonight. Adam Hamari at first, and Isonia at second. Lance Barksdale at third base. The umpire and crew for this 3-game set. Cole, a .314 average, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. And he will take down and away. Last we saw Cole was on Wednesday when he went 2 for 5. A couple of singles. He swung the bat well against left-handed pitching this year as he cuts through that one. And was in the hole at 1-2.
Cole 12 for 37. On the homestand, 4 RBI, 4 doubles for Calhoun.
1-2, fouled back. Go upstairs to that fastball,
including that rocket at the wall.
Yeah,
started off that big hit in that go-ahead winning run by Albert Pujols on a sac fly right off the wall. The rocket, so he hit so hard he only got a single out of it.
There's Albert. Game-winning RBI for him. Cole lifts one out to shallow left field. Not very deep. Alejandro De Aza coming in. 1 out.
The Hyundai key to this game. Long distance run around. So important in this ballpark and on this entire road trip to start getting that home run swing together. Trout has had some home runs in his career, including his first one. The Major Leagues here at Camden Yards. Going to need that long ball here against Baltimore.
I think he likes playing in this ballpark.
You think?
Just down the road from his home in Millville, New Jersey. There's always a lot of friends and family in attendance this weekend. First one, Chen is up and away. Mike hitting .289, has 9 home runs, 19 runs batted in. 6 doubles as well. Chen making his 3rd career start against the Angels. This one down the line, slicing out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chen has allowed 3 home runs in his career versus the Angels, including 1 to Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and Eric Ibar, of all taking them deep.
Yeah, when you look at the numbers, they're not that impressive for Chen against the Angels. Mentioned 2 starts, he's 0-1. 10 1/3 innings. 10 hits, 6 runs allowed, 10 strikeouts, 6 walks, too. That's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
I was asking Mike Scioscia about him today, Chen, and he just says he changes speed so well, both sides of the plate. Although the Angels have had good success, like you mentioned, against him, certain hitters have really squared him up well.
Well, he's thrown the ball well so far for Baltimore this year. 250, 200 run average. He'll try to come back inside. That one is in off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Trout goes down swinging for the second out.
Off speed pitch after a number of fastballs, especially a couple fastballs in. And with a slider down and in, he's pulled off that pitch. Good location by Chen against Trout.
So bases clear with 2 down and Pujols at the plate. Albert 1 for 4 in Wednesday's game. Had that sac fly, picking up his 13th run batted in. That's the first one. Albert hit just 231 on the season. Has the 5 home runs, 4 doubles as well. 3 infielders on the left side. He's over shifting on Pujols. 0-2. Pitch. Albert skies what fouled out of play. And with 2 strikes, Navarro, the second baseman, moved back over to the right side of second base. No longer shifting.
That's the thing you see a lot with the shifts. All of a sudden, the count dictates exactly how they're going to keep that infield during the course of an at bat.
Boy, a lot of pitches in on right-handed batters already for Chet.
Generally known to be able to throw his changeup and backdoor his curveball, fastball away, trying to establish inside. Well, you know David Freese is going to be pitched inside. Albert Pujols pitched inside, but if it's down and in, Pujols crushes that ball though.
Going back outside now, and it's down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We just showed you Buck Showalter, 6th season as the skipper of the Baltimore Orioles, 2014 Manager of the Year. Orioles going 96 and 66 and winning the American League East title. And that is out to left field. The Angels are going to strike first on this one. Gone, a big fly for Albert Pujols. 526th of his career. The Halos have a 1-0 lead.
Now, what do you say about inside and down? Not a good decision for Chen to go inside against Albert Pujols, especially at that level of the plate at the knees. Already getting that home run ball working. Albert Pujols giving Jared Weaver and the Angels that early 1-0 lead on that swing. Setting up inside, Joseph is. Ball down in at the knees. And the reaction by Chen, he knew it. There's no way this ballpark is going to hold that fly ball that well hit by Pujols to left field.
David Freese will look at a strike. It's a 28th home run hit by the Angels this year, the 6th for Albert. You see the all-time list. Jimmy Fox up next. Freese hits one back toward the middle, but Navarro positioned perfectly. And David has gone down for the 3rd out, but the Angels do strike for a run here. The first, courtesy of Albert Pujols, his 6th home run of the season. Jared Weaver will take the mound with a 1-0 lead when we return. We'll check out the lineup for the Baltimore Orioles as presented by Buck Showalter. They are 15-17 on the season. They are 8-5 here at Camden Yards. And we'll show you that lineup here in just a second. They're facing Jared Weaver. Weaver, of course, coming off his best start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, his fastball velocity much better. You know, ERA still just barely under 5, but that last time out a shutout. But for, his pitch arsenal much improved. More confidence in his fastball. 49% fastball curve, 21% changeup, 18 slider, 12. But that's up 1% from his last game because he felt more comfortable challenging hitters with his fastball, which set up his off-speed pitches.
Manny Machado leading things off, and he hits one out toward left field. Off the end of the bat, Colin Cowgill will squeeze it. 1 pitch, 1 out to start the bottom of the first inning. Machado batting in that leadoff spot, the 11th game in which he has batted in that spot.
I'll tell you what, you love that. After pitching a shutout, complete game last time out, you got to use all your pitches, a lot of pitches to do that. Weaver gets a 1 pitch out. It's great to see that from Weave.
And we're starting to see more and more of that where hitters are jumping early in the count against Weaver. Last game, a completely different start for Jared. In that the fastball was good, the location was better, and it set up all of his other pitches. Alejandro De Aza, the left fielder at the plate. 228 batting average, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Good speed. He hits this one out to center. Trout giving chase, still going back near the wall, leaps up, and he got it. That ball had some carry to it, as a lot of baseballs do in this ballpark. Well-timed leap by Trout, and it's a second out here in the first. Now we will check out Buck Showalter's starting lineup. Just saw Machado and De Aza. Jimmy Paredes will bat third. He's the DH and switch hitter. Adam Jones, a cleanup hitter in center. Chris Davis at first base. Delman Young in right field. J.J. Harding, the shortstop. Ray Navarro is the second baseman, the rookie, getting the start at second base. Caleb Joseph doing the catching. Matt Weeder still on the mend from Tommy John surgery.
How often we've seen Weaver on the mound in the first inning here at Camden Yards. Trout doing something like he just did against De Aza.
Paredes with a big swing and a miss. And the thing is, Mike usually gets a pretty good jump on the baseball. I think the carry kind of surprised him as well.
Yeah, the baseball was flying out during batting practice today.
1 ball, 1 strike on Paredes. He's off to a terrific start. 364 batting average, 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. See the flags blowing out toward right. Swing and a miss. Flags, by the way, at half staff here, is ordered by the governor. Several victims of the Amtrak derailment from a couple of days ago from Maryland. So that's why the flags are at half staff. 1-2 pitch inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pitch before, it's 68-mile-an-hour curveball from Weaver. The importance of him having the confidence with his fastball. 84, 85 so far, but he's been spotting it well.
Now the 2-2 inside, full count.
A very hot hitter, so he's looking fastball, 3-2 count. Weaver has that option now of going back to his curveball or potentially even his changeup.
Yeah, Paredes in the midst of a 12-game hitting streak. 3-2, breaking ball, top foul.
Look at our T-Mobile game changer. Weave, the last time out, 6-hit shutout, no walks, 120 pitches, 6 punch outs. This is his 7th career shutout. Last time he did that was back in 2012 against Oakland.
And he missed down and in. And it's ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Not what you wanted with Adam Jones on deck.
Like he tried to be too fine with his fastball inside during that sequence.
6 strikeouts, by the way, for Weaver in that last start. The season high for him. Got 2 outs rather quickly off the bats of Machado and De Aza on fly balls. Now a walk to Paredes, and here's Jones, the center fielder. 29-year-old San Diego native, off to a terrific start as well. 336 average, 6 home runs, and 23 runs batted in. And he will take downstairs. Good numbers in his career against Weaver. Paredes with a short lead over at first base. The Orioles don't run a whole lot. This one's popped up. Shallow right field. Long run for Cole Calhoun. He's there, and the inning is over. So Jared Weaver with a shutdown inning. We will head to the second here, Camden Yards, with the Angels up 1-0.
O's 1-0 here in the top of the second. A timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. Back in this date, back in 1918, Walter Johnson pitched an 18-inning shutout, won 1-0. And Lefty Williams got the old big old hang with him, got the CG too, but the old loss on that one too. 18-inning complete game shutout. That's finishing what you started.
Eric Ibar rifling one out to left field. Daza can't get it. It's over his head. The ricochet goes back over his head toward the infield, and Ibar stops at second with a leadoff double.
Now 3 for 5 against Chen. Eric Ibar in his career with a home run. Almost had his second career home run against him. One hops the wall, hit very well. Eric Ibar is starting to swing the bat extremely well. Yaza didn't take a great route for that baseball, but hit so hard by Eric Ibar. Leadoff double, stress right away for Baltimore.
Hey, by the way, you figure with a nickname such as Big Train,
yeah,
you can go 18 shutout.
The way he threw, he was a slinger, short arm,
almost almost 3/4 arm angle. Civatella fouls back the first one.
Good old days with all those great nicknames.
Yeah. People don't realize, because it's easy to say the all-time wins list in Major League Baseball. Well, Cy Young.
Yeah.
Obviously. Nobody's going to get to 500, whatever the number is, off the top of my head. But number 2 on that all-time list, Walter Johnson.
You're going to get a lot of decisions when you're going 18 innings in a game, that's for sure.
Yeah, 511 for Cy Young, 417 for Walter Johnson. Civatella takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-2.
Just to get 417 starts in your career is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Let alone wins.
And Walter Johnson, by the way, from Fullerton Union High School, Fullerton, California. But he was born in Kansas. Waving the wheat.
Yeah.
Civatella takes inside, and it's 1-2.
Little rock chop, Jayhawk.
Civatella hitting .284 with a home run and 13 runs batted in.
The time when you have to find a way, somehow, some way, at the very least, to manufacture this run.
Almost did Civatella a favor there. elevating that pitch.
In a way to allow him to punch that ball to the right side. Giovantel is very quick on high fastballs. It's a tougher time, especially that breaking ball down and in.
Eric Ibar with a leadoff double, his 5th of the year, extends his hitting streak to 6 games now. Eric starting to heat up. Came in batting .262, and that goes up now with that double. Carlos Perez on deck. Nobody out here the second. Pujols with a home run with 2 outs in the first inning. And the Angels a 1-0 lead. Ground ball towards short. And it'll advance Ibar. Hardy on to first. Giovantel retired. Little first down.
It's a great read by Eric Ibar. A lot of times when you have a ground ball to the shortstop, you're going to hold there when you're at second base, but because it was to the left of him, he was able to read that and work his way towards third base, knowing that would be a difficult throw for J.J. Hardy.
Infield in now for Baltimore in the second inning.
High fives for Giovantel getting the job done, advancing Ibar. Early in the game, though, for the infield being in.
Yeah. Carlos looks at a strike.
Usually when the manager does that early in the game, he's aware of who's pitching against your club. And Jared Weaver with pretty good career numbers against Baltimore, though has had struggled here in this yard, but 7-4 in his career against Baltimore.
Yeah, the numbers aren't necessarily pretty here in this ballpark. Check swing. They want an appeal. He went around. Adam Hamari rings it up 0-2. It looked like he went around.
I don't think Mike Scioscia thought he went either.
Like Mike just mouthed, not even close. Perez 7 for 22 to start his big league career. 1 double, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. And he's off. Seen that a couple of times from Chen, where gets ahead with 2 strikes, tries to elevate 1 pitch. Doesn't have quite the command on that high fastball as he does on that one down and in.
So hard that when you come back the very next pitch after you drop your elbow to elevate a fastball to make a quality pitch the next one.
Oh, this will work out toward right center field. Coming in on it is Young. Ibar coming to the plate. The throw is cut off, and it's 2-0 Angels. Perez with a sac fly picks up his 5th RBI.
Yeah, the thing is, Delman Young has 4 outfield assists, but they're not going to slow down against him. Taking that shot, even with a shallow fly ball to right center, because he has to cut across to make that play. So he has to set his body up to be able to throw towards home plate, and unable to do so. Was cut off by Davis, but I think that's going to be up far up the third baseline on the throw.
That was headed toward the on-deck circle or the dugout on the third base side.
I talked to Dino Evil about that with Delman playing in right field. I said, yes, you know, when you look at his numbers, 4 outfield assists, solid, but we will run on him.
I think to your point, and duly noted, having to come in and to his right, not the typical fly ball where you can set your footing and deliver a strike to home. This one out to shallow right. Navarro, the second baseman, will call for it, make the catch. The Angels do manufacture a run. Leadoff double by Ibar. Sac fly by Perez. 2-0 Halos as we head to the bottom of the second. Park at Camden Yards. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Baltimore. Mild temperatures. That'd be the first time we've ever been here where no threat of rain and or humidity. Chris Davis will look at a strike. Supposed to heat up tomorrow and Sunday, however. Preakness being run at Pimlico. Not that far away from here tomorrow afternoon. 0-2 count on Chris Davis, first baseman. 246 batting average, 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Off to a much better start than last season. Down and in. Davis last year struggled with the batting average of 196, 26 home runs, 72 RBIs. And, the strikeouts piled up. Breaking ball got him. He waves at the off-speed pitch. It was up in the zone. And there's out number 1. Hey, follow the Angels all season long with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. At bat up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today.
I like what Weaver did to Davis there. He threw a slider down and in, then he threw a backdoor slow curveball. Even though location as far as the height of the pitch wasn't perfect, the speed of the pitch was. So hard to stay back if you're a hitter. 64-mile-an-hour curveball. So one now it's 67, 68, now 64.
Delman Young pulls one down the line, backhanded by Freese. Across the diamond goes the throw, and there's out number 2. Nice play by Freese.
Delman Young with good career numbers against Weaver. But a nice play by David Freese. One hopper on the backhand, able to get up. Strong throw. He does have a very good throwing arm, David Freese. Able to get Young at first base. Weaver right away pointing over to David Freese, saying nice play on that backhand.
J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, takes ball 1. He's playing in his 8th game. Started the season on the disabled list. Hurt his left shoulder on a dive during spring training. He pops this one up. Foul. And out of play. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Hardy 4 for 25 to start the year. 1 double, 1 home run, 1 RBI. Steady player.
Works hard. Taking a lot of extra ground balls during batting practice today.
It's a pretty good pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Not quite the 12-6 break on his curveball. It's more of the cross between a slider and a curveball early on for Weaver.
This one's lined to left field. It's a 2-out single.
Hardy more comfortable knowing to probably get a fastball there. Got a fastball. It was elevated. Base hit off of Weaver.
So JJ knows not to hit it to center field.
No.
With Weaver on the mound in this ballpark.
Yeah.
Hasn't worked out well for him.
Especially while he was lucky enough to come up in the 2nd inning. 1st inning always got him.
Yeah. Ray Navarro, the batter. 25-year-old, native of Puerto Rico. He'll start tonight at second base. This is his 9th game. 7 for 23, couple of doubles, a home run, 3 RBIs. Hardy with a short lead at first. Baltimore does not run a whole lot. 10 stolen bases on the year. It's 14th in the American League. The Angels just ahead of them. No, the Angels only have 12. And that's with Trout owning 7 of them.
Yeah, for that total to start going up for the Angels, Eric Ibar is going to have to run more. And he has good speed and he's a good base runner, but just doesn't seem to quite get comfortable enough to get his lead to be able to be successful stealing bases.
Yeah. 2-1. 3 balls and a strike now. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, on deck. Navarro hits one out towards shallow right field. Giavotella racing out. Calhoun coming in. But Johnny makes the catch. And that'll end the second for Baltimore. We'll head to the third. Halos up 2-0.
Ram trucks. Mike Trout, you mentioned it earlier, Victor, how far he had to go to make this unbelievable play in front of all his family and friends. He has to get back to the wall, go that far, and then the leap almost half his body over the wall. First inning, Weaver saying, that's exactly how I drew it up. And of course tonight doing the same thing, a fly ball over his head, leaps up, and why not? Just don't, if you're Baltimore, avoid Trout in center field, especially by the wall.
Just trying to figure out how the agent hasn't worked out a deal with Southwest yet.
Exactly. Probably because his body covered the whole wall when he jumped up over it.
9-1-2 for the Angels here in the third. Up 2-0. Cal Gill, Calhoun, and Trout. Cal Gill hits one out to center field. Adam Jones is right there. Calling one pitch, one out. Getting a strike tonight out in left field. Back to the top of the order we go. Cole Calhoun led off the game with a fly ball to left, so he is 0 for 1. Wei-Yin Chen last year, 16-game win, 16-6, 3.54 ERA and 31 starts. Now his 4th season with the Orioles. Baltimore's pitching staff has struggled a little bit. They're 11th overall in team ERA at 4.17. The starters at 4.55. Relievers at 4.38. But really, when you look at the American League East, it's kind of like the American League West right now. Any team has a chance. Baltimore, 2 games under 500, are 4 back and in last place. And nobody really running away with things. Houston has calmed down a little bit. They were on an incredible tear. The Orioles took 2 of 3 from them. They just won the last 2 games. This one's down and away. So you know that the West will eventually pick up. Seattle's starting to play a little bit better. Texas had a nice little stretch there for a little while. Oakland hasn't figured it out yet.
Especially in day games.
Yeah. They're 1-11 in day games for Oakland. And that is ball 4. First base on balls issued by Chen. It'll put a man on against Trout.
And Trout took the first pitch. Last at bat against Chen. I'm thinking if he's hitting the fastball, or even an off-speed pitch near the strike zone, he may let it go at this point.
Mike, a strikeout victim in the first. fouled off into the seats. Caleb Joseph, a very good defensive catcher. Good throwing arm. He seems to have good games against the Angels. He's filling in for Matt Wieters, working his way back from Tommy John surgery. Wieters hasn't yet started his rehab assignment, still down in extended spring training, but getting a little bit closer. That's up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think they're targeting sometime in June for Wieters, barring any setbacks.
That's a big power bat they're missing also.
Yeah.
And he has a great throwing arm himself.
It's not as if this Orioles offense is missing the power. They put up some pretty good numbers offensively this year. But certainly won't hurt to get him back in the middle part of that order.
Well, he was on that fastball. It's 3 fastballs in the sequence. Last time, very similar. Then he threw his slider down and in off the plate to get a swing and miss. See if he goes to that same pattern. If he catches any of the plate, it's going to be hit hard on the slider. He's going to try to sneak a fastball in.
Foul back.
It's a pretty good job of just staying alive in your at bat. He ran that one in real good on him. So 4 fastballs now.
Calhoun with a walk, stands at first. 1 out here in the 3rd.
Here comes that slider now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Albert Pujols put the Angels on the board in the 1st with a 2-out home run. Angels made it 2-0 in the 2nd. Double by Ibar, ground out by Giavotella. Advanced Eric to 3rd, and then Perez with a sac fly to right. Check into Cole. And while the Angels offense has struggled this year, good numbers batting average wise against left-handed pitching, 256 as a team. But, they certainly have not gotten it going on the offensive side on the road. Swung it at times a little bit better at home this past homestand, but still looking for that consistency, the passing of the baton.
They're just looking for that balance 1 through 9 in a lineup.
Breaking ball down and away. You're starting to see some, where at the beginning of the year, especially with new personnel, Mike Scioscia kind of mixing the lineup up a little bit. But now you've seen Ibar, Giavotella together for the most part. You've seen Freeze kind of in that middle part of the order.
Perez has done a nice job as far as down the bottom part of the order for Mike Scioscia.
The bottom 8 and 9 spots critical, because that's the part of the order that turns the lineup over. And those guys have yet to get it going. See if Cole takes off here. Doesn't. 3-2 is lifted. On the right field line, slicing into foul territory. Nobody's going to get there.
It looked like Cole was looking in at the dugout. He probably has the green light, or they want him to go 3-2 with 1 out, but didn't get a good read against Chen as far as getting his lead. I asked Mike Scioscia before the game, can you run against him? And he said he's pretty tough. He's pretty quick to the plate. He's got a decent move. He has 4 career pickoffs. He's allowed 1 stolen base and 1 attempt against him this year.
And Trout strikes out swinging for the 2nd time. So Chen has 2 punch outs. And Trout has both.
I think he had a pretty good pitch to swing at there. 8-pitch at bat by Trout against Shen. First pitch, fastball away. Had a pretty good swing. Fastball up and in. Then another fastball. Great swing on that fastball away. Fastball in, just trying to stay alive in his at bat. And that slider like he got him the first at bat. Tried a backdoor curveball. Fastball, another good swing at it, but fouled it off and then pulled off that fastball pretty much down the heart of the plate, just enough to get a swing and miss.
Albert lifts one out toward right field, hit well. Delman Young moving over though. He's there. He'll make the grab, and that'll end the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. 2-0 Angels. 1-0 lead. A gorgeous, gorgeous night. And I think we've got a visitor in our booth. What do we got going on here? Hold on a second. Gooby, did you order room service?
That's how I roll, man.
That's
how I roll.
What do we got here?
Nice.
Oh, my God. Breakfast delivery from our friends at Fox Sports 1. How about that? How's that scone? Hey, don't forget to wake up tomorrow with the UFC. Two legendary fighters square off at a special 7 a.m. Pacific Eastern Time morning edition of the UFC Fight Night. Former champion Frankie Edgar takes on the California Kid, Uriah Faber, live only on Fox Sports 1.
I'll see you in a little while.
That is 7 a.m. Pacific. How's that scone?
Oh, it's excellent.
Appreciate our friends. Fox Sports 1.
Got me covered for a little while?
Yeah. It's a good thing you won't have dry mouth. Go ahead and chop away.
Oh, this is fantastic.
9-1-2 against Weaver, Joseph, Machado, and Diaz. What is that, a blueberry scone?
Oh, it's my favorite.
You even had some eggs, man.
Hey, that's how I roll. Breakfast of champions.
You've got some serious connections. Joseph, this one foul and out of play.
Hey, we are close to Philly here now.
You're right.
Connections.
Red carpet rolled out for you.
Oh, yeah. They still kind of like Trouty around this neighborhood, too. But, that being said.
Caleb Joseph, the catcher, hitting .282, 3 home runs and 12 RBIs. Lays off for a full count. Weaver with 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 1 hit allowed. A single to J.J. Hardy with 2 outs in second. Manny Machado, leadoff man, is on deck. Breaking ball has popped up. Carlos Perez, the catcher, calling for it. 1 out.
Nice job as far as turning around as a catcher on a pop-up, go towards the back. Because a lot of times you'll see when most people will come in on that ball, it's very difficult for a catcher to go out of that crouch position and try to catch it going forward. You just turn around and get a better read for that pop-up for Carlos Perez. Well done.
Boy, everything he has done behind the plate just under control.
I mean, even go for that pop-up. Very confident. I know it seems routine, but it's never routine as a catcher to catch a pop-up.
Machado, the leadoff man, hit a fly ball to left in the first inning. So 1 pitch. So he's 0 for 1. Gets this one up in the infield. Carlos Perez will give way this time to Freeze. Makes the catch in front of the mound. 2 outs.
Wise decision by Weaver, getting out of the way. It's directing traffic. Freeze Bobby said, hey, you think you had that play, Weave? No. It's your play. As soon as it's away from that dirt, sure baseball.
Two outs, nobody on. Weaver looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. This is Alejandro De Aza. Fly ball to center field. First inning. Takes outside. Aza now 30 years of age, native of the Dominican Republic. Started the season with the White Sox last year, got traded to Baltimore. Finished up with the Orioles, played 20 games for him. His account even up at 1-1. Did a nice job for it, too. 293 in those games, 3 home runs. Good speed. Does a nice job in the outfield. This one's pulled to the right side. Pujols to the backhand. Will feed Weaver. And there's that first 1-2-3 inning. 3 in the books here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Halos up 2-0. Angels will take on the Padres at 6:05. That's Memorial Day. Join us for a Big A, or at the Big A, for a spectacular Memorial Day postgame fireworks show presented by Sungevity. Purchase your tickets today by visiting the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com. Freeze, Ibar, and Giavatello for the Angels.
Beautiful ballpark here.
Yeah. Just beyond the right field fence, the old warehouse, Utah Street out there. Was it Ken Griffey Jr. hit the warehouse in the All-Star game? Was it the All-Star game or the Home Run Derby?
I can't remember. I think it was Derby. Also remember the countdown.
Yep.
The games played for Cal Ripken.
1 ball, 2 strikes on David Freese. There's the ball that Ken Griffey hit. It's right there. I mean, it's impaled in the wall.
At least it wasn't against me here.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Look out below. Freese gets into one to center. Playable for Jones. Lifting back on. He plays a shallow center field. There's the first out. It'll bring up Eric Ibar. This is what he did in the second inning, leading off the second.
Aggressive right away. Fastball down. Short to his swing. Off the wall. Cruises in for a double. Eventually scores. Well, he's been swinging the bat so well of late. So important for that. You mentioned connecting the offense, that balance in the lineup for Eric Ibar.
6-game hitting streak now. Takes that pitch for a strike. It goes in off the plate.
Maybe by a baseball or two off the plate.
Well, you said it before the game, before we came on the air. Eric Cooper likes to call strikes. This one hit to second. Navarro has it. 2 down.
That was a pretty good swing, even though it's an out for Ibar. Stayed back on that breaking ball very well.
Yeah, the right-handed swing has not been an issue for Eric this year. It's that left-handed swing, especially early on. A lot of off-speed stuff down and in. But he is starting to kind of get his footing.
Career high last year as far as RBI for Ibar.
Had a great chat during batting practice with Don Baylor, who originally came up with the Baltimore Orioles. We were talking about hitting, and in particular, Matt Joyce was in the cage at the time, and Chris Iannetta was in the same group. We're talking about slow starts, and forget about all the things that you talk about, mechanics or otherwise. He's had to remind those guys, listen, it's May. You know, you can't go out there every single at bat thinking one swing's going to give me 5 hits, and then tomorrow one swing's going to give me another 5 hits, and my average is going to jump up 50 to 75 points. Just got to go out there and put
good swings. Yeah, that's what you do. That's how it starts a good long streak as far as hitting the baseball square on the barrel of the bat. Now, it's not going to result in a hit every time, but it gives you an opportunity as a hitter to get those mistakes when a pitcher makes that against you.
He was talking specifically himself. He was middle of May, beginning of June, hitting, he said, like 216 or thereabouts. Had a couple of good games. Ended up hitting 366 the rest of the way.
That's a pretty good year.
And he finished with a 286 batting average. Not too bad. The Angels go down in order here. The 4th. We will head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Angels up 2-0.
Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC. By Keck Medicine of USC, beyond exceptional medicine. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
2-0 Halos. Home run by Pujols. A sac fly by Carlos Perez. The scoring in this ball game as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. The Orioles setting up 3, 4, and 5. Paredes, Jones, and Davis. Jimmy Paredes. A swing and a miss to a walk. The other one issued by Jared in the 1st inning. Very official at bat.
Very good changeup to start with for Weaver. Backed it up with another good changeup. It's because of his fastball, and his command of his fastball has been much better the last couple times out, where he's getting those swing and misses at his changeup now and his slow curve.
Foul off the left, so the count remains at 0-2. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and 1 hit.
And you notice that one is late on an 85-mile-an-hour fastball.
This one, the soft line of the 3rd. Freeze has it. 1 out.
And jammed it with an 83-mile-an-hour fastball. Because as a hitter, you're aware of his good changeup, and you're trying to stay back on it, and you're jammed on a fastball.
Jonathan Jones will step to the plate 0 for 1. Hit a fly ball to right. The crowd here at Camden Yards drawing well all season. Orioles 8-5 at home this year. And this one's skied out toward right center field. Mike Trout's got a beat on it. 2 down.
Well, Chris Davis coming up. This is what Weaver did to him his last at bat. With that slider down and in when he's ahead of the count, able to throw his backdoor slow curveball. Great location, 2 different pitches, different speeds on breaking balls for Weaver to get a swing and miss against Chris Davis. Excellent sequence and set him up perfectly.
A lot of power in that bat. 53 home runs 2 seasons ago. Drove in 138. And he lines this one out to right field. Is it going to hang up for Cole? And he'll make the catch. The Red Baron does it again. Terrific play by Cole Calhoun for the 3rd out.
Boy, does he like to do that dive, face first dive. Great read, aggressive. Once again on the dive. The man is amazing in right field. Great reaction.
Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimate of 31 miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. By AT&T UVerse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Subaru, Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
2-0 Angels lead it. Start the fifth. Great shot of a pretty good rotation.
4 20-game winners.
Yeah.
Same year.
Carlos Perez bouncing the first pitch over to Manny Machado. And there's the first out to start the fifth.
You have Cuellar, you got Dobson, McNally, and Palmer. 4 20-game winners. Usually you hope for, when you have a 3-game series, maybe you have a chance against one pitcher. But when you have 4 guys winning 20, that's a 4-man rotation at that point in baseball. So there was no 5th starter, and there was no chance you were going to win any of those games.
That was the 1971 staff. And the uniforms, glorious.
Oh, yeah.
The all orange.
Did they lose to the Pirates that year in the World Series?
I believe they did. This one back toward the middle and a base hit for C.J. Cron. Popped down at his first plate appearance. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Bring up Colin Cowgill.
See, Baltimore never liked to play the Pirates in the World Series, even in '79 too.
That's right.
We are a family team for the Pirates.
Yep. We were just going through that team. We were talking about them the other day at dinner. Just going through that list of players. Dave Parker, Willie Stargell,
Manny Sanguine,
Phil Garner.
Dave Cash on that team playing second.
Dave Cash was on the team. Did you mention Omar Moreno?
Yeah, former teammate.
Yeah.
Now he can run. He liked that triple.
Kent Colby closing it out.
Steve Blass in that rotation.
Yep. There's one surprise on that team.
Bert Blyleven was on that team.
Yes,
also.
he was. Yeah, but that wasn't the surprise that I was thinking about.
Well, Blass might have been on the '71 team. I don't know if he was on the '79. I remember Blyleven being there.
Cowgill pulls it foul. Colin 0 for 1 and a fly ball to center field his first time up. Bill Madlock was at third base. Benny Stennett was at second.
Cash worked his way over to the Phillies close to that point.
The Candyman, John Candelaria.
Yeah, they had that tough arm angle. Candyman pitched well for the Angels also.
Yeah. Ed Whitson, that's who was a surprise. Ed Whitson was a 24-year-old on that team. Would play a whole lot. Cowgill goes down swinging, 2 outs. Certainly didn't work out well for Ed Whitson in New York, that's for sure.
No. San Diego was solid for him, but
yeah.
New York, no.
Cole Calhoun 0 for 1. Fly ball to left and a walk. C.J. Cron standing at first base. Cole fouls this one off the left. Chad with 4 strikeouts now, 1 walk. He's issued 3 hits, home run, a double, and a single.
He's throwing a lot of strikes.
1-2. .64 pitches for the lefty. 46 strikes.
Outfield playing cold to hit the other way in the air.
Trout on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We'll try to sneak a fastball in against Cole and see if Cole's ready for it.
And Cole goes down swinging on the off-speed pitch, so that's the 5th strikeout for Jen. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th. Up 2-0. Reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Angels. 2-0 Angels here in the bottom of the 5th. Alvin Young takes upstairs. Young, Hardy, and Navarro for Baltimore here in the 5th inning. That's 6, 7, and 8. Dalman getting started in right field is 0 for 1 as he bounced one to David Freese, his first time up. He skies this one to shallow right field. Johnny Givatelli making the grab, 1 out.
As per the norm with Weaver, a lot of fly ball outs, pop up outs in the infield. Ten fly ball outs for Weaver so far in this game.
Number on the right side, a lot of spin on it. Weaver bobbles it, throws over to first, and he throws it wildly. Hardy will advance to second and stop right there in what should have been the second out. That ball had a ton of spin on it, and if you don't watch it into the glove, that's what can happen.
And he got off the mound well with the spin on the baseball because of an off-speed pitch. Yeah, just took his eye off the baseball. And the high throw at the runner going down the line. A lot of spin on that baseball.
Those
out
are
of the glove.
Sorry, Mark. Those are the ones that you need to go with 2 hands.
Yeah,
have that bare hand
plenty of
follow
time. Yeah, plenty of time. And as a pitcher right now, that's the first thing you have to do right at this point is just forget about that play. Don't let it have a carryover effect, because that can happen.
Error all the way. the 20th error committed by the Angels this year. Ray DeMar with a 1-ball no strike count. Also the first time that the Orioles have had a man reach second base. Navarro popped out to Giavattel in the second. He's 0 for 1.
It's a 6th error by the pitching staff this season. Two and one. That's that no-seam fastball we always talk about. He tries to go inside against lefty. I think he's done a very good job as far as throwing that away against lefties also. Start in the middle of the plate and then run away.
Breaking balls popped up to shallow center. Ibar going out. Trout calls him off. 2 outs.
He's been throwing the ball very well so far. 4 2/3 is 1 hit allowed, 1 walk. It's 1 punch out. .53 pitches thrown for Weaver.
That caught the inside corner. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, popped down to Perez in the 3rd inning. One ball, 1 strike.
Just off the inside corner with a changeup. By the way, Weaver wants to have a quick conversation with Carlos Perez. Giavattel coming in also. Wouldn't think there'd be a pickoff put on, but Weaver with 22 career pickoffs. That does have a good pickoff move to second.
Little number foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Perez has been so solid behind the plate, swinging the bat also well. 5-1 record in his 6 starts at that catching position. Defense has been there, and so has the offense.
One-two pitch. Down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got the top of the order. Caleb Joseph on deck. Full count. A couple times tonight, Weaver's gotten to that situation where he's gotten ahead, but throwing a couple extra pitches to get that count to full.
Pretty good patience by Joseph not going after either one of those breaking balls, especially a point with 2 strikes on him.
Yep.
1-2 to 2-2 and did not chase.
3-2. And he got him this time with an off-speed pitch. Second strikeout of the night for Weaver. So that error does not come back to haunt. We'll head to the 6th inning. Angels still on top.
and a rover. Albert Pujols getting the Angels on the board in the first inning. Home run number 526 for the future Hall of Famer. Even Weaver, a 1-0 lead early on, then the breaking ball, very solid for Weaver to command. And of course, the defense with Cole Calhoun diving once again, and Weaver saying, wow, what a play by his right fielder.
Trout, Pujols, and Freese for the Angels here in the 6th inning. Michael for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Evens up the count of 1-1. The Angels with 2 runs on 3 hits. They've committed 1 error, stranded 2. Baltimore, no runs, 1 hit. They've left 3 on. Ground ball to the right side. Navarro far to his left, can't glove it. And it goes off the glove into right field. And a leadoff single for Mike.
Yeah, if he gets that ball with his momentum taking him into that outfield grass, there's no way he's going to be able to turn around and throw out. Trout going down the line. Good piece of hitting by Mike Trout going the other way. Trying to range just under the glove and stay low because it got to that outfield grass.
Albert 1 for 2 with a home run in the first and a fly ball to right in the third.
Changeup didn't miss by a whole lot.
Chopper left side. Machado has it to Navarro for 1. The relay back to first. Low throw. Davis can't dig it out. Albert's going to try to go to second base. The throw from Joseph is past Navarro, and Albert came off the bag for a second. Was able to get back there.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. It looked like he stepped on that base awkwardly as that ball went by him at second base. Good hard takeout by Trout, though. That's the reason why that double play was not turned. Getting high fives from his teammates. Or getting hit hard by Trout in a low throw because of that takeout at second. It's important. Now you have Albert in scoring position. Well done by Trout. Old school, preventing a double play. Especially in this ballpark, you want to try to score as many runs as you can.
Freese 0 for 2 with a ground down and a fly ball to center.
See why Navarro unable to do so. The late hard slide in the second by Trout. Then Navarro from being able to turn it. Trout making sure he was okay, but that's the way you play the game, to try to prevent a double play from being turned. Navarro will remember that the next time Trout is there, so he might hurry his throw a little bit quicker because of that speed going into second. Going back to my Hyundai key to this game. Long distance run around. Certainly started off that way right away for Albert Pujols in the Angels. A home run. For a big fly or 2 to be able to add on to this lead. Give Weaver some breathing room.
No balls and 2 strikes. Good lead for Pujols at second. Freese fouls it back to the right.
It's a pretty good swing on a 0-2 pitch.
Trying to go back inside. Freeze lays off, and it's a called strike 3. 2 outs. Look at Fox tracks. Caught the inside corner.
Especially where it crossed the plate, not where the catcher frames it. It's where it crosses the plate, and that got quite a bit of that strike zone on the inner half. See, as a manager, even a hitter, when you see the catcher bringing that baseball down, you think it's out of the zone, but when it crossed the front of the plate, it was in the strike zone.
So it's up to Eric Ivor to extend the Angels' lead. Currently 2-0 here in the 6th. Eric 1 for 2 with the doubles. He dribbles this one up the third base line, and it'll stay foul. The error on the play, which Pujols reached, was charged to Navarro, the second baseman. His first. 23rd for Baltimore. Taylor's trying to capitalize on that. No balls, 2 strikes. Double that Eric had in the second inning, his 5th of the year. 56 strikes, 21 balls for Wei Yin Chen.
Mixing and matching real well in that lower part of the strike zone. That's the one pitch he hasn't been real comfortable with, is his changeup.
Hasn't really needed it, you know. He's been good with a fastball and that slider,
especially with the fastball inside to keep the right-handed batters honest.
Dribbler foul. Baltimore has the top of its order coming up in the 6th inning. With Machado, Daza, and Paredes due up against Weaver. Solid 5 innings for Weaver so far.
It's a good fastball again at 93 inside.
2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 1 hit allowed for Weaver. Put back outside. Well, that's a called strike 3. A fastball right down Broadway. The Angels are done here in the 6th. Head to the bottom of the inning. 2-0 Angels.
Speaking of Weaver, has thrown the ball very well through 5 scoreless innings. It's 1 hit. J.J. Hardy had that back in the 2nd inning, coming off that last outing, a 6-hit shutout against the Astros for Weaver.
Slow breaking ball to start off Manny Machado. It's an 0-1 count. Machado 0 for 2 with a couple of fly ball outs. Manny last year limited to 82 games. He's recovering from that knee surgery. Check swing roller over to first. 1 down. And that fastball in on the hands.
Well, you have to be aware of the all-speed pitches when you're facing Weaver, especially when he has a feel for his curveball and changeup, and even slider. So you're looking all-speed, and he runs the fastball in again.
Diaz 0 for 2. Fly ball to center, a ground ball to Pujols.
Well located fastball once again by Weaver.
The bunt on the third base side, a beauty. Barehanded by Freese over to first, and he got him. What a play by David. 2 down.
Well, over the years, Baltimore has seen some great third basemen, one being Brooks Robinson, but what a play by Freese coming in for the Baltimore fans on this bunt. He's playing back on that front part of the grass on the barehand, all in one motion. Perfect strike to first base by David Freese, coming in well, and a perfect throw to first base.
Paredes fouls the first one back. It's an 0-1 count. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a soft liner to third.
Boy, perfect technique as far as getting his hand underneath the baseball and the perfect throw. Albert saying great throw from Freese.
Ground ball to second.
Another jam shot.
Yeah, Giavotella has it. A 1-2-3 inning for Weaver. 6 in the books here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. 2-0 Angels. On a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, the Memorial Day sales event is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. 2-0 Angels. Top of the 7th, game 1 of a 3-game set. The first of a 10-game road trip to the American League East. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston. Pujols with a home run in the first. Perez with a sac fly in the second. Vitello swinging first pitch, bounces one over to third. Backhanded by Machado. And Johnny retired for the first out.
That's a normal play we're used to seeing from Machado. That's a good backhand and strong throw from him across the diamond.
There's Carlos Perez, sac fly in the second inning, giving him his 5th run batted in. Grounded out to Machado in the 5th. Two balls and no strikes. TJ Crone on deck. Chopper toward the middle. Hardy to his left has it. 2 down. Hey folks, celebrate the grad in your life. Angels grad packs include 4 tickets to select home games and an Angels graduation tassel for just $100. Purchase your grad pack today at
Grad packs.
Grad packs.
A lot of Angel fans here at the ballpark. It seems like CJ Crone is just long overdue to crush a baseball. He's starting to see the ball better of late.
Singled in the 5th inning, popped down his first time up. I get a lot of folks, Angel fans on the East Coast. This is the one. There are actually 2 swings this year on the east side. Matter of fact, after this road trip, the next one's back to the East Coast, the Yankees and the Rays. This one's fouled back. And then we're done with the American League East.
That's the way it always used to be. You make that trip to the East Coast and be done with it.
Inside out, job to the right side, in and out of the glove of Davis. And Crone will pick up his 2nd hit. Wonder if Davis had to do it all over again. He doesn't leave his feet.
He probably doesn't have to.
Yeah. People don't realize, so you leave your feet. There's so many moving parts. Everything's got to go just right for everything to go to the glove.
And the throw, generally it's going to be a lower throw, especially when you have a pitcher covering the base, trying to find the base. But if you're on your feet, you can have that flip throw over the pitcher to lead him towards the bag.
2-out single for Crone.
He was a third baseman at one point.
Yeah. He played third base, thus making him a third baseman by default. And I know Chris, he's Texas native, came up with the Rangers. I was there when he first got to the big leagues. Buck was the manager, and he was a guy that didn't have a position. So yes, you're right. He did play some third. 2 balls and no strikes.
Trying to help him out.
Oh, it's a valiant effort on your part.
Buck saying, hey, he's calling up to you.
Yeah, he's chapped at me.
He said he did all right at third base.
He's calling up to the booth. What are you talking about?
He said he made some solid plays at third. Why don't you try playing third down in Texas, where it comes at you about 800 miles an hour on that grass.
Cowgill out to center. Jones back a couple of steps. The Angels are done here in the 7th. Stretch time here in Baltimore. Halos with a 2-0 lead. Adam Jones tonight 0 for 2. A fly ball to right, a fly ball to center. A bunt on the third base shot. Freeze playing back, has no play. An infield base hit for Adam Jones. The cleanup hitter going with the bunt single.
Yeah, that's one of those plays as a third baseman, especially the power that Adam Jones has. There's no way you can think he's going to go up there to try to bunt down the third base line. He protected against that hard hit ball, potentially be a double down the third base line.
To be perfectly honest with you, thank you very much. If you're Jared Weaver and the Angels, he's a guy who's got good numbers against Weaver.
Power numbers
against
numbers,
Weaver. Absolutely. And he's done damage against the Angels. He'll give up that base hit. Davis takes upstairs. Orioles first baseman 0 for 2 with a strikeout in the second. And that liner out to right field, which Cole made a terrific diving play on.
Davis has rolled into 2 double plays.
Bunt single by Jones, the second hit allowed by Weaver. Davis pulls this one to second base. Giavotella over to Ibar for one. Relay back is in time. A double play. And again, thank you very much.
Well played. That's not an easy double play to turn with the shift on in the infield. Well played by Giavotella. And the shift on, you got Eric Ibar playing on the second base side, has to go to the base and quickly get out of the way of Adam Jones for a 4-6-3 double play.
That ball had a lot of spin on it. If you go back and look at that replay, you see Giavotella moving to his left. All of a sudden that ball goes back toward his right.
There's been about 4 baseballs hit off the end of the bat against, and
just like that,
off Weaver tonight. He has to react. There's spin on the baseball, so you got to be able to corral that in the glove and use both hands. That's why he was able to do so. Well played by Giavotella. At least 5 or 6 baseballs off the end of the bat with spin against Weaver.
Fouled off to the right.
What that tells you is this fastball has been good enough to make them aware of that pitch, and they're out in front on his off-speed. When Weaver was struggling, the hitters were sitting back on his off-speed pitches and squaring it up well.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Young, who's 0 for 2 with a ground ball out and a pop-up. Again, I'm not lead-off bunt single by your cleanup hitter. He will certainly take it.
14 extra base hits coming into this game for Jones.
Down goes Young, and just like that, the Orioles are done here in the 7th. We head to the 8th. Halos have 1, 2, and 3 coming up, leading at 2-0.
4-0 here in Baltimore on Patrick O'Neill. Join us after the game for Angels Live. At this point, clearly the story is Jared Weaver. Jose Mota will join me, and we hope to get reaction from Weave, Mike Scioscia as well. Now, you guys were talking earlier in the game about Carlos Perez, how he's making plays look routine, and he's very confident back there. I asked Carlos if, he was always a catcher growing up, and his dad was teaching him how to play baseball in Venezuela. He said no. He was an infielder, then he was an outfielder. It wasn't until he was 16 that a scout said, hey, you look like a catcher. And Victor and Mark, you know who he told me his favorite catcher of all time? Hint, we talked about him last night.
Johnny Bench.
No, that was my favorite player.
Pudge Rodriguez.
Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's the guy
Okay.
he wants to emulate. Not a bad catcher to try to play like.
Oh,
No.
there's no question.
No
One
doubt.
of the all-time greats.
That's always good when a scout tells you you look like a catcher. That means you're short and squatty. I mean, seriously, you look like a catcher. Okay. It's worked out well for him. Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, and Albert Pujols here in the 8th.
So Wieters doesn't look like a catcher, though. He's
No.
a big Joe Mauer.
I thought long ago when Wieters first got to the big leagues that his time behind the plate would be wouldn't be long. I figured he would become a first baseman or a DH. Such a good bat. He's a very good catcher, but just because of his height, you see Tommy Hunter getting ready now. Leadoff walk to Cole. Because of the height, sometimes maybe with legs, knees, backs.
Yeah,
he
you want to
eventually
keep
moves.
that bat in there as much as possible.
Yeah. Leadoff walk, and that's going to be it for Chad. Tommy Hunter, the right-hander, is going to be called upon here to face Mike Trout. Pitching change as we are in the 8th inning. The Angels up 2-0. Comes into the ball game for Wei Yin Chen, who lasted 7 innings, struck out 7, walked 2, and allowed 5 hits. He's responsible for Cole Calhoun standing over at first base. Hunter pitching in his 14th game, 1-1 record and a 4.85 ERA. Facing Mike Trout, then Albert Pujols and David Freese.
Hunter with a power fastball, 94 to 97. So a cut fastball and a curveball.
Trout fouls it back. Mike 1 for 3 with a single in the 6th inning. He is 0 for 5 in his career against Hunter. Hadel's looking for some insurance runs. Ground ball right back to the mound. He fires to Navarro for one. The relay back to first. That's a double play.
The reason why that was able to be turned because he jammed them pretty good. More difficult to get out of the batter's box. In that fastball handle area of the bat. 1-4-3 double play. Very difficult to turn a double play against Trout.
Second one that Trout has hit into this year. So bases cleared. Albert now up. Home run of the first inning, 526th of his career. Fly ball to right in the third, a fielder's choice in the sixth. One ball and strike. Albert also 0 for 5 in his career against Sutter. Seven strikeouts for Chen tonight, matching a season high. He's now done it in back-to-back starts. Against the Yankees the last time out. Did not go. A 3-ball, 1-strike count.
Good hitters count now for Pujols. That's a guy that throws a lot of fastballs.
Ground ball to the left side. The overshift. Hardy has it. And the Angels are down here in the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-0 Angels.
Continue to lead this game against Baltimore 2-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's your DraftKings players to watch update. Derek Ibar 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored. Bartolo Colon, who had been throwing the ball so well, struggling tonight. 5 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. A-Rod's been very, very good himself. 320 batting average in the last 7 games. And Kershaw going for career win number 100 tonight.
Hardy, Navarro, and Joseph for Baltimore here in the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike. J.J. Hardy 1 for 2, a single in the second, and he reached on the error by Weaver in the 5th, but was stranded at second base. Jared at 77 pitches so far, 3 punch outs, 1 walk. This is fouled back and out of play.
Another just weird swing on a slow pitch. And a pop up spin on that one as it went out of play. Weaver's been outstanding.
gets into one of left center field. That's hit well. Cowgill back. That is gone. A solo home run to lead off the 8th inning for Baltimore, and it's a 2-1 Angels lead. Second of the season for Hardy.
Sorry, but you see by the reaction by Weaver, tried to sneak a fastball inside against Hardy. He was able to turn on that one. He got too much of the plate. And he's very good on the inside part of the plate. He's always had a tough time away. This time it's on the inner half, and he turned on it. It's that zone he could do some damage. Now, coming in this game, Hardy was 3 for 23 against Weaver, but 2 for 3 tonight.
Ray Navarro, the second baseman, up. 0 for 2 tonight. He'll look at his strike. Joe Smith now getting ready for the Angels.
With a string of 16 straight scoreless innings for Weaver.
Good off-speed pitch. 0-2. Pulled foul. This one out to left. Playable for Collin. They put it away for the first down. As now's the perfect time to reserve a suite rental during the season. Suites offer 12 to 36 guests the opportunity to enjoy the game in an intimate, luxurious atmosphere. Suite rentals offer all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage options. To reserve that suite today, just call 888-796-HALO or log on at angels.com/suites. One out, nobody on. Caleb Joseph due up, and Joe Smith is going to take over on the mound for Jared Weaver. 83 pitches tonight. And terrific outing for him. Back-to-back terrific starts for Weaver.
Unbelievable stuff. Fastball command getting there for Weave.
To Joe Smith, taking over for Jared Weaver. Joe pitching in his 17th game. 0-1 record, an even 3 ERA, 15 innings, 16 hits, 16 punch outs, and 4 walks. So in and out, who's in, who's out. We'll be facing Caleb Joseph and Manny Machado. Trying to get the Angels back at the plate in the 9th inning.
4-to-1 ratio as far as walks to strikeouts for Smith. Great outing by Weaver. You're looking at home, you think, why did Mike Scioscia take him out with 83 pitches? It was a stressful 83 because it was another low-scoring game, and it's always tough to back up a shutout, especially when you throw 120 pitches, which was clearly a season high for Weaver to come right back and have that type of game where you're going back out there for 9 innings once again. I think it's the right decision by Scioscia.
Joseph looks at a strike. Catcher 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a strikeout. Slider catches the inside corner, 0-2. Joe pitched on Wednesday, went 1 inning, had 2 strikeouts and a perfect 8th inning. And yet another tight, close ball game for the Angels. Cal remains at 0-2. Nice play down there.
How happy that fan is, young fan. He can't even sit still.
Almost left his nachos down there.
High five with the glove. He just might run a marathon now.
Pulled foul. He's still going. He's still running up the stairs.
He might be running up to show us the baseball.
That's taking it on home right there.
Yeah.
I win.
It's as good as it gets. That's awesome. That smile. And the high five. Thankfully, it's the weekend.
Yeah. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Joseph. 2 outs. Slider.
Good sequence against Joseph by Joe Smith. Swing and miss on a slider well off the plate. Perfect location.
Manny Machado tonight 0 for 3. 2 fly ball outs and a ground out. Three hits allowed by Weaver. Two singles in that home run. This would foul back on Perez. 1 and 2.
Another very good quality start by an Angel starter. The 21st this season, which leads the American League in that category.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Diaz on deck. Taylor's in the 9th inning. A freeze. Ibar and Giavotella due up. And a tap of foul at the plate. Trickles back to the backstop. The count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Where's Diaz? Full count.
Fastball off the outside corner. I still think he's going to try that slider down and away. Keep it off that outside corner.
Back up the middle. It's a single for Machado. Went back to the fastball. And Machado spins it right back up the box. So the tying run on base now. Not 100 outs are coming up now.
That's the spot where he has more coverage on that inner half plate on the fastball. That's why I thought maybe a slider down and away.
Most hitters still, even if you have the reputation to be able to throw a breaking ball on a 3-2 count for a strike, they're still looking fastball 3-2. Especially the mindset as a hitter, you think, okay, he's not going to walk me. He's going to challenge me with a fastball. That's why I think they're more apt to chase a 3-2 slider than he would a fastball.
Dowsett tonight is 0 for 3. Cardinals with 5 hits, Orioles now with 4. J.J. Hardy with a leadoff home run start to save inning, getting Baltimore on the board. Cardinals scored solo runs in the first and second, but then haven't done much since then. One.
Now Phil playing extremely deep. All 3.
Dowsett 1 for 6 in his career against Joe Schmidt. Machado with a good lead. They'll check in on him. The team leader at stolen bases, even though they don't run a whole lot. He has 5, has been caught once.
Perez is throwing at 5 of 6 with the base stealers. That's 83% at this point.
1-1 in there, 1-2. Sink a fastball here.
Yeah, he goes fastball down the way, or even try to go even a little bit further off the outside corner for a backdoor breaking ball. And for Calgill, you got to be ready, even though you're playing that no doubles defense, playing deep and left, be ready.
Yeah, all 3 outfielders very deep. Dowsett takes inside. 2-2. All 3 guys back near the warning track. Tying run standing at first base. Paredes, the DH, is on deck. Adam Jones after that. Here's the 2-2. Dowsett fouls it back.
See, he was looking away at that point. That's why that pitch before, if you go a little two-seamer, run it down and away, a better chance to get a swing and miss. So his mindset was, oh, he's throwing that fastball off the inside part of the plate to set up something away.
This one's out toward right center field. Cole moving over is there. And we will head to the 9th here at Camden Yards. Halos will have Freeze Ibar Giamatella coming up, leading it 2-1. Back out for his second inning of work. Hey folks, tomorrow MLB returns with another doubleheader of division rivals, starting with the Braves taking on the Marlins as the Pirates square off against the Cubs. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, that second game should be a lot of fun. They probably don't have any pitchers left after that game.
Yeah, they went 12 innings today.
It was 11-10.
Yeah. David Freese swinging first pitch, punches one through the right side, a leadoff single for the Angels. David's first hit of the night, so he's 1 for 4.
Good approach. Let the baseball travel. Hits the ball hard to the right side of the infield for a base hit. Pinch runner. Now you would think that Featherston going over at first base to pinch run for Freese. Mike Scioscia may be more apt now to put some kind of action play on. I don't think Eric's going to square around the bunt. I think more of a hit and run in this spot. Machado is almost playing, almost right on top of Eric Ibar. He's way in there. He can hit that ball by him pretty quickly.
And Hunter's not an easy guy to bunt off of. 95, 96 miles per hour. Good movement. Featherston with very good speed.
And that's by design, that throw over to first to see. And then Eric wisely acts like he's squaring around the bunt. I don't think he's going to bunt here. I think it's a hit and run.
Now bunting, it's a base hit up the middle, a rocket off the bat. Featherston turns, he'll head to third. No throw from Jones.
Good aggressive base running. Another multi-hit game for Eric Ibar. Is he getting hot? And I like what Mike Scioscia did. Let him swing the bat. When you're swinging the bat that well, you don't want to give up and out. Featherston going quickly around second. Aggressively gets into third on the head first slide.
That's his fourth consecutive multi-hit game. Johnny Giavitello will bat here with 2 on and nobody out to start the ninth. Johnny's 0 for 3. Couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Ibar with a big lead. Infield is in. That's up and in. Watch out.
That's old up and in, just in case there's a thought of a suicide squeeze being put on.
Good speed on the bases for the Angels. Featherston at third, Ibar at first. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's just trying to jam Giavitello. It's a good matchup, though, for Giavitello because Hunter throws a lot of high fastballs, and Johnny Giavitello can hit that ball well, a high fastball.
Giavitello lifts one out toward right center field. Adam Jones giving chase. He'll track it down. Scoring is Featherston. A sac fly for Johnny Giavitello makes it 3-1 Angels.
Another big at bat late in the game for Johnny Giavitello coming through with a sac fly. 14th RBI in the season for Johnny.
So 1 out. Ibar remains at first. And Perez now at the plate.
Time called as Chris Iannetta was running in from the bullpen. They're all waving at him coming in. That's a long run.
Perez tonight 0 for 2. Did have a sac fly in the second.
Shoulder thinking maybe Mike Scioscia's going to put a hit and run on. Might have the option now, especially head of the count, to put a pitch out on.
Off-speed pitch foul back. It's 0-2. You're talking about Johnny Giavitello. Late in games, or close and late stat that they keep track of. Prior to that at bat, .526 batting average with 5 runs batted in. This one ground ball to third. Machado feeds the ball for one. The relay back. The tie inning-ending double play, but the Angels do get an insurance run. As we head to the bottom of the 9th inning, Houston Stream will be coming on with a 3-1 lead. We would like to say congratulations to our EVS operator Edgar Lopez and his wife Tashina. Gave birth to a baby girl yesterday. Aliana Hope Lopez, 7 pounds 3 ounces. Mom and baby are doing well. A hearty congratulations to the Lopez families.
She is beautiful.
Here at the bottom of the 9th, Houston Street taking over to face Paredes, Jones, and Davis. 3, 4, and 5 for the Orioles. 16th game for Houston. 2-1 record. And a 3.07 ERA. Houston did pitch in Wednesday's game. A 1-2-3 9th inning. No decision for him, of course. And just winning that one in 11. 2-1.
15th career game against Baltimore. Does have 7 career saves against the Orioles.
Featherston stays in the game. He pitched ran for David Freese, so he will take over at the hot corner.
It's a big run, too, when he aggressively went first to third on a base hit right up the middle to Adam Jones.
Jerry Paredes, switch hitting DH, 0 for 2. A walk, a line out, and a ground ball out. Jared Weaver, 7 1/3, 1 run, 3 hits. 3 strikeouts. Joe Smith, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit and 1 strikeout for Joe. Paredes cuts through the fastball, and it's an 0-1 count. Paredes picked up last year to trade with Kansas City. Here's Alwood Fowl. Originally, the Yankee system got traded to Houston in the Lance Berkman trade. And ended up with Kansas City last season. Traded to Baltimore. Now he's off to a terrific start for the Orioles.
Yeah, seeing the ball very, very well. Good sequence so far for Street. Fastball follow up with a changeup.
Downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Paredes has done damage on both sides of the plate so far this year. 385 batting average from the right, 360 from the left. But the power has come from this side of the plate. All 5 of the home runs he's hit.
Big out right here for Houston Street if you can get Paredes, especially with Jones on deck.
The 1-2. Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just a bouncing now and out in front of the plate.
0-2 or 3-2, yeah.
Now what you want to do, as you mentioned, with Jones on deck. Payoff on the way. Paredes strikes out, swinging down he goes, 1 down.
You can see the importance of being able to throw a changeup because he gets that 87-mile-an-hour fastball by a good fastball hitter. Because he threw him 3 straight changeups. Well, if you're a young pitcher watching home, change in speed so important. Work on your changeup.
Adam Jones, a bunt single his last time up. A 1-for-3 night. And he will look at a strike. Jones shoots one beyond the reach of Pujols to the right field. So to bring up the tying run, and Chris Davis. Second hit for Jones.
He's been with the pitch.
Chris Davis 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 2 in his career against Houston Street. Pujols playing behind Jones at first. Davis looks at a strike. 3 infielders on the right side. Freeze over at the, Featherston at the shortstop position. Took over for Freeze. Davis lifts one out toward left center field. Playable for Trout. Onto the warning track. He'll make the catch. Jones tagging, trying to go to second base, and he is in there safely.
Yeah, just keep that tag on him just in case. He almost came off the base.
2 outs.
Pretty good swing by Chris Davis. Fastball pretty much the heart of the plate, just around belt high. But kept it in the yard. Trout able to run it down.
Travis Snyder will pinch hit here for Delmon Young. Left-handed bat. 270 this year with a home run and 9 runs batted in. Adam Jones standing at second base. Check swing. They wanted appeal. Did not go. And it's Barksdale saying Snyder 0 for 1 in his career against Street. Calvin Young finished the night going 0 for 3. Pulls off the off-speed pitch, evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was a perfect changeup. Street. No one had to throw that close enough into the strike zone, but down and away.
One pitch. Snyder. Tardy on the fastball at 88. 1-2 now. Another tight ball game for the Angels, looking to pick up their 18th victory. If Houston Street can lock it down. Adam Jones at second. Here's the 1-2. Off the end of the bat, foul. Snyder the last 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Came up with the Blue Jays originally. That was back in 2008. A lot of hype coming up through the system too. Just never fully materialized at the major league level. Perez back outside. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Light that baby up as the Angels take game 1 against the Baltimore Orioles. 3-1 the final.
Another outstanding pitch game by the Angels again. Jared Weaver was unbelievable once again. Joe Smith and then Houston Street with his 12th save of the season. Albert Pujols got the scoring going. Eric Ibar continuing to swing the bat. Another multi-hit game for Eric Ibar, getting that all-important big run in the top of the 9th inning to give the pitcher in Houston Street a little bit more flexibility to challenge hitters, get the swing and miss to finish off the inning.
Terrific performance for Jared Weaver tonight, picking up his 2nd win, 7 1/3 innings. The Angels with solo runs in the first 2 innings and make it hold up. And tell you what, terrific job for Weaver pitching in his second time, I should say, second consecutive start for him in which he threw the ball exceptionally well against a very good hitting Baltimore Orioles team and a very aggressive team